Hey guys, Strong Associates is back again. It's Alex.
The Orange Dream.
And Noah.
And we're back again with Running the Ropes. We've been gone for a little while, it seems like, but we're back and just as good as ever, I guess.
Yeah.
Better, you know.
Maybe a little better.
A little better, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we got quite a few things from WWE to talk about, mainly from Raw, a little bit of a preview from Extreme Rules, and some TNA Impact. That should be fun. Matches for Border Wars, and we're going to end by talking about everyone's favorite gossiper, Bret Hart. Let's start with this past Monday Night Raw. Start out with the show with Paul Heyman coming out and doing some trash talking Triple H. You know, Paul Heyman's always gold on the mic. I do love whenever Paul Heyman's talking. Basically, Brock Lesnar had challenged Triple H to a steel cage match at Extreme Rules, and Triple H came out, accepted, and then gave Heyman a pedigree, which Heyman took like a champ.
Oh man, he really did. He took it better than Nash. He took it better than Sandow.
Yeah.
I mean, he took a front bump. A real front bump.
He didn't land on his knees. He took that thing face first.
Yes, he did.
He took it on the chin.
Good man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So respect to Paul Heyman for that one. What do we have next?
Next we had R-Truth made his entrance with the I think it's like 30-year-old song that he still sings. Wasn't he singing that in TNA?
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Anyway, he came out and he faced Cesaro. Cesaro came out and I was excited.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always excited when I see Cesaro.
Yeah.
But then he completely yodeled me flaccid. And
yodeled me flaccid.
then this match, I mean, I guess I'll just dive right in. It started off good. It was an entertaining TV match. Then the finish.
Oh my god.
It was pretty short too.
It was, yeah.
Cesaro looked like total weak, a weakling.
The past 2 weeks he's looked
Well,
really
the thing,
poorly.
his match with Kingston was good. I didn't like the fact that he lost because it was
Out of nowhere.
free television match out of nowhere. He loses to Kofi Kingston. You know,
It felt to me, I was like, okay, maybe they're moving him away from the U.S. title, establishing him for something else, and then he goes on the next week to lose clean to R-Truth.
Yeah.
Who has the same old gimmick. I don't know whatever happened to Little Jimmy, but
he got fired apparently.
Oh, Little Jimmy got fired.
Yeah, Little Jimmy.
Future endeavors.
Mama Truth said that Little Jimmy got fired.
Oh yeah, this is just people always talk about establishing new stars. Here's Cesaro, a guy who's he's on the path.
He's made for television. Okay,
Getting
he's made for WWE.
He's the type of guy they would normally like.
Exactly.
So he was on the Indies, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, well, everyone's on the Indies now before they go. Cena was technically on an independent promotion before he came there.
Yeah.
It was a developmental
WWE. He was still a product of WWE, though.
But still, there's no reason that this should happen.
I don't know why R-Truth still has a job. I mean, come on. Like, the guy was somewhat relevant again back in 2011 when he had that whole big heel turn. And then he was pretty good when he was with The Miz, The Awesome Truth, and then fell into obscurity and no one has cared about him and God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the hell they're building him up for. What do we got next, Noah?
Next, let's see. We get a backstage segment with Ziggler talking. He was talking like lovingly, and then they zoom back and he's talking to his belt.
Yeah, that was
great.
Yeah, that's funny. And then it wasn't like Biggie like standing there like watching like a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, but then it turned quickly into fat jokes about Caitlyn.
I thought it was
Caitlyn
fat
is
jokes.
not fat.
I thought it was Vicky, because Vicky came in.
No, they're talking about
Caitlyn.
No, because Caitlyn is like I guess AJ's former best friend or whatever, so they're making fun
I
of
thought
her.
they were making fun of Vicky calling her a hippo.
No, they're not.
That's what I got out of it.
No, Caitlyn.
Either way, you shouldn't be making fat jokes about these chicks anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's Vicky, yeah.
Right.
Should not.
Stupid.
Yeah, whatever. Be a star.
Vicky interrupts and she announces.
Her and Maddox.
God, what the? I still don't get the Maddox hype. I don't get it. I don't get that bandwagon.
I think he's got potential, but what they're using him for is just kind of.
I don't get why he's intentionally awkward now.
Yeah,
it's just really.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it just ends up being awkward.
He wasn't bad on commentary. I saw him a few times on commentary, like in NXT, even he was pretty good.
Yeah,
So.
I think his character's supposed to be awkward, but it doesn't work.
It's
not working.
It's supposed to be awkward. It comes off awkward, which doesn't really work that well.
But Vicky interrupts and she announces that Ziggler has to face. Who was it?
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho, and if Jericho wins, he's going to be added to the three-way match at Extreme Rules.
Yes, which I was excited for.
But it's another. They keep doing. It's like you have to beat the champion to get a match with the champion.
Yeah.
That is so stupid.
Right.
They keep doing
That's
it.
just lazy.
Well, then again, doesn't like didn't ROH do it with like the proving grounds though, so it's not the worst idea ever, you know.
I mean, if it's a set thing, but like every time.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we had was that right next time? Was Ziggler and Jericho?
No, after that we had a Shield promo.
Oh yeah.
Then
with the money in the the helicopter. Yeah, they were at a live event somewhere up in Wales, I think, when they flew them in on a chopper. So
that was
Yeah,
cool.
that was
really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then they had the Ziggler Jericho match.
They had Sandow and
Brodus Clay, yeah,
which Sandow won and it was pointless.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that match so much. I didn't even write it down when I was watching.
The only thing worth noting was Sandow still funny on the mic.
Yeah, but I mean that's just a match that helps nobody. So
and I really want that feud to end.
God, please end it. It's helping no one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe Tensai because he's actually getting to wrestle.
Honestly, Tensai, he had his best match I've seen since he was back.
Yeah. We'll get
that
to
was
that
later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, Jericho and Ziggler. That was a pretty good show. I liked it. Wish the crowd hadn't been so fucking annoying. I mean, everyone now, I guess, wants to be like the New Jersey crowd from after WrestleMania, so they're doing a fucking wave. They're humming the Fandango song.
To me, this proved that because everybody's saying, "Oh, all the Europeans in that crowd made it." The one after Mania. To me, that's just not true because these were actually all Europeans, and they were just idiots.
Yeah, they were doing it to be funny. They weren't doing it during a boring match or something that they didn't want to see.
Right, they were just getting the best match, one of the best matches of the night.
The thing is, like, European crowds generally are really smart. This crowd was, like, extremely not intelligent for a European, especially British crowd.
Yeah, so right there, just like, and I was worried about that was going to happen. Is that the crowd was just trying to get themselves over, and they did try, and
Well, they didn't get what was good about the New Jersey crowd.
Exactly,
they're just trying to copy.
Yeah,
So.
the New Jersey crowd was just shitting on stuff that they did not want to see and didn't care about, you know. But they were paying attention to stuff that actually was good, which is what you should want from a crowd.
Yeah, right. Don't do it during like
don't do it.
You should actually want to see.
Exactly, and Jericho Ziggler was a good match. I did like the finish though with the distraction or whatever.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it also. One thing I wrote down here was that Matt Hardy has less mugshots than were in this match of AJ.
Yeah.
I mean...
They do that every
move. They would turn and see what AJ was thinking.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like...
Who cares?
To me, the match just felt just disjointed because of that. So it was hard for me to get into the match even though I liked both guys.
They constantly have to show AJ and Biggie Langston outside the ring every fucking time Ziggler's in the ring. Which, you know, I think just, you know, they're trying to get over this idea that AJ and this is like a big dominant trio, but at the same time it's like, you know, I don't... Ziggler, yes, I see. AJ, I think, is being built up to be a top woman now, but I still don't think this is like... If this trio hadn't been losing before Mania, you know, maybe I'd take it more seriously.
Well, what I think is happening with Langston is, because we saw it in that promo earlier in the night, how he was like, take a walk, basically. And I think we might see Langston turn on Ziggler, and I would really, really like to not see that program because that's not going to help make Ziggler seem important or like a legitimate champion. Yeah, that's a very SmackDown feud.
It's not going to help Ziggler. It's not going to get Langston that much over because the crowd's going to be on Ziggler's side, and you know it's not.
Well, it's not going to put Langston over if they were to put Langston over Ziggler after booking him weekly for so long. It's not going to put Langston over either.
Yeah. So, not going to really help anyone. Don't do that, please. And plus, it's the most generic thing you'd ever do. It's this, you know, we've seen that thing 1,000 times. What do we have next?
Next was the Foley promo, which is your standard Foley promo. He starts out talking softly, and then he gets all angry, and the crowd cheers. And
wait, was it against Ryback?
No. That's the end of the show. He had one earlier that was back.
Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't really paying attention to anything. Yeah,
that's
okay. Yeah, I always love Foley around. You know,
just setting up the confrontation later in the night.
Okay, yeah, I like Foley. I like having Foley back. I'm never a fan. I'm never not a fan of Foley on television. You know, he helps a lot.
Or actually, this was backstage. That's what happened. It was an interview with Josh Matthews.
Yeah, that's what I said.
One thing that really annoyed me about this is that Matthews asked really like one question, and that was he said how great the Attitude Era was, and he asked Foley, what's different about now? So it's like they constantly do this. Like, man, remember how awesome the Attitude Era was? But it's not the same now. Like, why would you point that out? We know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
All right, and then we had Cody Rhodes taking on Tensai, or Sweet Tea. I'm not gonna call him that though. But this is a pretty good match actually. Tensai's actually been proving a little bit. Like, he's actually doing more moves. He's doing the cannonball now, which I love seeing.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, this match actually was pretty decent.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of Giant Bernard here, and less of Tensai.
I hate that pitchfork dance. People. I don't know. I hate it.
I hate him dancing. Yeah,
and also
overall,
Cody still deserves better.
God, Cody Rhodes has main event talent written all over him. He's been
better than what he's doing.
Yeah.
He
if nothing else, he deserves to be like at least a mid card guy, or like an Intercontinental champion, or in that title picture or whatever.
I would say he could be an upper mid card guy that occasionally gets put in the main event matches. Not a consistent main eventer,
right.
but do something. He's never really been in a one-on-one title match, has he?
Not for a long time, no.
Not in a long time.
No. All right, and then we had more. Go ahead, Noah. You leave.
Next was the Hell No promo,
which was awesome.
Was very funny.
Yeah.
Diagrams.
So funny.
The diagrams, yeah. That's what like, what if Shield just stole the diagrams and they actually used them during the match to and then Hell No gets all flustered, like, oh, they know our plan. Or
if this was Chikara, I would see that happening.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw the screenshot online of the diagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Have you seen it, Justin?
Yeah.
It is so funny. It's a picture. There's a square, which is the ring, and then it says in the middle "me," which is Daniel Bryan. Yeah. And then he's got two arrows coming from him out, and then outside the ring it says "surprise."
That's awesome.
And on one on the other side it says "Shield Part 2." It's ridiculous and funny.
Dude, Daniel Bryan is comedy gold. That guy is one of the most entertaining guys in WWE right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really, really hoping that he drops the tag team title soon and then gets a big push as a main eventer. I'd like to see him by SummerSlam, possibly main eventing.
I don't think they want him to be that over.
I don't think so either.
Well, then they're doing a horrible job of trying to get him not over then because it's not working.
Well, they're trying their best.
Yeah, they stuck him with Kane for.
and look what's happened.
Yeah.
So.
I know.
All right, then we actually had we had Big E versus Zack.
That promo ended with an attack.
Yeah.
And
that attack was so bad.
Yeah, it was
horrible.
I think they got totally Blair Witch.
Yeah, it was exactly like the Blair Witch Project.
It was.
Yeah, it was like I thought he was yelling at the cameraman at first, like look out, and he pushing the cameraman. Thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had Big E Langston versus Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder, who's still not relevant. And
becoming less relevant.
He had different hair. He didn't have the spike.
Yeah, they're teasing a heel turn or something.
On his show. Or something. I don't know.
Big E, I actually won't listen to this right now. Big E wasn't bad in this match. It was a squash, but he showed potential, I think.
When I was watching this, I was thinking, man, Big E seems like a pretty athletic guy for his build.
His moveset sucks so bad.
His moveset is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
It's just, I can't name one move that it looks good or enjoyable to watch.
He has, ability. He just needs to learn better moves.
His finisher is idiotic.
Yeah, it's one of the worst
I know,
I've ever
that's what everyone says. Is just everyone, no one likes that finisher, I don't think.
No.
So hopefully they fix that.
You could do anything other than that, it would probably be better. That's horrible.
And then we had the match of the night, which I was super excited for this week. This show is the Shield taking on Team Hell No and The Undertaker. First match on Raw in 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Right.
That's pretty awesome right there. And and Team Hell No, of course, came out and let me first say right now, there's nothing like an Undertaker entrance. Just watching that on live or anywhere, that is the best entrance in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Shield looked like they're gonna ambush the Undertaker and just beat him down. Then Team Hell No came out and we actually had the match and. Pretty good match. I was really enjoying it.
I enjoyed this a lot.
Yep.
I loved one part where Seth Rollins was yelling at the Undertaker like your time's up, old man, dead man,
laughing at him.
and just like the Undertaker just had the mat.
He's stalking the apron and I think he did the
he's ready to kill Seth Rollins and
love that.
Oh man, this was a great match.
And this match may have had the best suicide dive I've ever seen. The one that Bryan hit on Rollins.
Oh yeah!
He hit him and chucked him into the barricade. It was so well done.
Rollins was selling like a champ in this match.
Oh yeah.
He was selling like a. Oh, and also
the Shield. Everybody in the Shield looked great as usual.
They're I say right now they have some of the best selling. I think like they just sell their offense so well. And Dean Ambrose is great. Is just like his facials in a match is awesome. I'm never bored when he's working over a guy.
No,
right.
And the thing is, he doesn't do anything flashy either.
No, but like it's just like his characteristics, his mannerisms, just. And I love that that surfboard knee that him and Rollins do. That's an awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's sick.
I just wanted to touch on this while talking about the Shield. I think it's interesting that the Shield is being finally a faction is being booked strongly.
Yeah, thank God.
I mean, like that never happens anywhere.
Yeah, like I'd venture to say that this is like
they've been booked more strongly than any faction I can think of in recent memory.
Maybe since like Evolution.
Yeah,
possibly.
But even then, it's like they didn't start out winning every single match.
No, but
like, that was mainly just Triple H.
Right.
But man, I'm blown away by how strongly these guys are booked. And yeah, the Shield ended up getting the win here. I think Daniel Bryan missed the headbutt and then Dean Ambrose rolled him up.
Yeah.
So they didn't pin the Undertaker, but still getting a win over the Undertaker. Like I took a list like the guys that the Shield have beaten in matches. It's Team El No, Daniel Bryan and Kane, Cena, Ryback, Sheamus, Orton, Big Show, and now the Undertaker. Who else can say that they've beaten all those guys in their career?
That's a good
question. Not a lot of people.
Many.
No. Especially like Undertaker and Cena. Those are big wins.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So anyone that thinks that the Shield is not going to be a huge part of the WWE in the future is got their head up their ass.
Unless they job them all out.
Which it doesn't look like is going
to be. No, it doesn't.
I think this is how you debut some guys. This is really, really nicely done.
Yes.
What do we have after this?
Next was William Regal versus Fandango.
Yeah, William Regal. Fandango came out, got a nice pop, but the only way you can trump a pop of Fandangos in London is to send out William Regal.
He's a great talent anyway, but
he's
definitely gonna be over in his home country.
Oh,
obviously. It was
short,
really
match.
short.
Fandango wins with the downward spiral.
Yeah,
Jerry Lawler. I thought this was funny. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
But as soon as he hit it, Jerry goes, "Oh, right on the beaner." I thought that was comical. I've never really heard of.
Yeah. Well, Regal does have quite a big nose.
I gotta say, Fandango was really cracking me up in this match. So with his dancing, the match is just he's actually like a good dancer.
He's good.
Wish I knew how good of a wrestler he was still, but
And then after the match, Jericho comes out and attacks Fandango and then dances with his girl.
Yeah.
He has a new girl now who is
Summer Rae, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the first girl.
I didn't either, but I won't complain either.
No. Although if you notice, watch her again, she touches her hair a lot.
She's more of a diva than the other ones. The other ones actually seem like legitimate ballroom dancers. This girl seems more like she
a ballet.
She's in the wrestling.
She's a wrestler,
right? Yeah. And then I wrote down another commentary thing that I thought was funny. Lawler said one of the lines that he says all the time, and Cole, you've used that 10 times. It is still not funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lawler had a ton of jokes on the show that did not land.
No, they whiffed.
Yeah, some of them didn't even make sense. I was just like, what?
Yeah. Next up, we had a Diva's number one contender.
Over the bottom rope.
This actually happened.
Yeah,
let's first put out some good things. First and foremost, Tamina Snuka super kicking AJ and her playing like death.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
She was just laying there flat.
Dead.
I was laughing the whole match. Because at first, when I saw the first, I guess I didn't hear that announced.
Yeah.
But I saw the first elimination, and I was like,
it was like Sonic.
They went over the bottom rope. Like, wait.
Yeah.
I jokingly said an over the bottom rope. I thought it was like a through the ropes.
Yeah.
Then I realized it really was an over the bottom.
Because they had other eliminations.
Yeah.
All the other.
All of
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Like, this is like admitting that your Divas division is a complete joke and then proving it.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And but yeah, AJ gets the win here, so her and Kayla are gonna have a match, which probably AJ's gonna win. Which hey, I'd rather have AJ hold the belt because at least she's on television more than Kayla is, and at least she's somewhat featured. So, and she's actually not a bad wrestler.
I couldn't care less either way.
Yeah, same here.
We're waiting for Paige or someone from NXT who can actually wrestle to make it up there. Not that saying AJ can't wrestle, but a real wrestler. So, and then we finished with the show with Cena and Ryback having a promo. Or no, Ryback and Mick Foley having a promo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I said this on Twitter, and I'm gonna repeat it now, which is I like what Ryback is doing. I like what he is saying in his promos. Everything he's saying makes sense about how Cena wasn't there to back him up when the Shield attack and all that stuff. Here's the problem. It's Ryback, a monster, saying these things. He's saying, Cena, you weren't there to help me, and in the very next sentence saying, I'm your biggest threat. I'm an unstoppable force. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, this is probably not a popular opinion, but this segment was terrible to me. I just thought this felt like a soap opera scene from a soap opera. It reminded me of the South Park where they just have these promos and they just talk about like this over-dramatic things. It just felt like so over-dramatic and it was boring and just went on and on. I didn't care for this at all.
I did like Mick Foley though. Mick Foley was cool.
I thought it was unspectacular for a Mick Foley segment.
Okay. Yeah, this was, I didn't really care for
it. They didn't make me understand why Foley was there.
Yeah, that's it.
Why did he come to London?
Yeah, and it didn't really do anything for Ryback.
Want some fish and chips?
Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
But what really didn't make any sense to me was why couldn't the Shield match be the main event? Why?
Yeah, that should have been the main event.
Taker should have been the main event.
Yeah, that should have been.
Why does Cena? Just because Cena's there doesn't mean he needs to be in the main spot.
Well, that's what they do. So.
Yeah, no, and but Undertaker should throw his weight around a little bit more about that one. That should have been the main event, and it would have been a lot more spectacular, I think.
I didn't write anything down after the over the bottom rope battle royal, and I honestly don't really remember that segment because it was just so.
It was nothing memorable, yeah.
It just went out. Like he just rambled.
Yeah, Ryback. Like I said, Ryback just shouldn't be cutting. I'd much rather if you wanted me to believe that Ryback was like something to take seriously, just have him come out and say, "You have the title, I want it." That's it. That's all I need. Just have him attack Cena.
And their lack of managers really hurts because if Ryback had a manager, that would help him a lot.
And the thing about Ryback is that he was never established as a face or a heel.
No.
He's just
a guy.
He's just a hungry dude.
Yeah.
And if you get in his way, he's gonna beat your ass and get his sandwich.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But now he's got to have this character.
Yeah.
And he talks so much. Why does he talk like this?
Yeah, and he was pacing.
Notice that?
That was annoying too. Yeah, he's got a smile.
He's got to I don't know.
It's like fucking big ass buck.
I just don't think that it's the road that they should be going down with him because you turn him into a character. Eventually, they're gonna steal his shit.
I'd much if you want to see how to book a monster as a champion or whatever, or a guy chasing belt. Look at Samoa Joe and ROH. That's all you need to do.
See, it's like they don't. It's again WWE not knowing how to book a heel without him being a whiner or scared.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it feels. They're making him a whiner.
Or Undertaker when he was the big evil. That was a good heel. Just he's just gonna you disrespect me, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Well, yeah, but he was demanding respect.
Yeah, that's
stuff like that.
You're right. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the matches announced for Extreme Rules so far. The main event will be John Cena taking on Ryback for the WWE title. I don't know if there's going to be a stipulation announced. Hopefully, I'm thinking...
It's Extreme Rules, so they should have something.
Yeah, I think it might be an Extreme Rules match. I heard that.
Probably, yeah.
Dolph Ziggler defending his world title against Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger in a triple threat match. That should be fine,
Yeah.
I think Ziggler will... Like I said, I didn't have a problem with Ziggler and Swagger, or Del Rio and Swagger's match at Mania. Just didn't have the crowd in it, so hopefully Ziggler will add a little bit of crowd pleasing to the match.
I have a feeling this match is going to be kind of awkward. I feel there's going to be at least 3 major botches.
There's going to be some botches here.
Del Rio's good for 1 major botch in pretty much every match. So.
I agree. And then we have Triple H taking on Brock Lesnar in a steel cage match, which I actually say right now, I like that they hyped up the steel cage is kind of like a big feud ending, which is like kind of a nice little throwback to the old days where steel cage was actually treated with some kind of respect.
Yeah.
And,
I actually agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way that they booked cage matches,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who heard cage and they're like, oh, but to me I was like, oh cool, this feels important. The only thing is I think Justin said this to me about this kind of seems like a way for Lesnar to get his heat back without Triple H getting pinned.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, no, I don't think they're going to do an escape match. It doesn't seem like the kind of two kind of guys they even want. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm concerned about is these guys had a match at SummerSlam where they didn't have any weapons involved, and this is a cage match, so there's got the cage involved. So I'm kind of wondering it might be like the SummerSlam match, just a lot of action or whatever. So, but I could be wrong.
The thing is about this match that's going to be interesting to see is. Because they can't go outside the ring, and usually that's a way for people to you go outside the ring. That way you don't have to do anything.
Right, they're gonna be stuck in the ring. So
they're gonna actually have to wrestle.
Yeah.
So.
I hope they kind of like hype up the idea that Brock Lesnar was a UFC guy and like, hey, you're trapped in a cage with a UFC champion.
That would make sense.
I would like to see that brought up.
Yeah.
Also, a rumor match. It hasn't been announced yet, but Shield taking on Daniel Bryan and Kane for the tag team titles has been rumored for a while. So we'll see.
I would like to see that, and I would like the Shield to win, and I would like Hell No to break up.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Shield hold it as a Freebird rules. You know.
They could do that.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, then one other thing to make note of from last week's Raw.
Well, there's other matches they're probably building towards.
Yeah, probably Caitlyn and AJ.
And Sheamus and Mark Henry.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Which I'm not.
Oh, and Big Show versus Randy Orton is already announced, right?
No, that wasn't announced yet.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No one cares about it.
Yeah. Coming up from last week's Raw was CM Punk leaving in the middle of a promo, and he's going to be taking some time off to heal up some injuries, which I'm kind of grateful for because the guy was working his ass off for over a year when he was the champion, and deserves some time off to rest up. But don't know when he was scheduled to come back. They're saying I heard conflicting reports. Like some say the pay-per-view after Extreme Rules, some are saying not till SummerSlam. So
well, he's still on the schedule for a lot of the events after Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's not coming back till SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's what
I've heard that there was some issues backstage that came up between Punk and staff.
Yeah.
And
didn't like I didn't like the build up for the Mania match. I heard or something like that. It's something to do with that.
I mean, to me, it almost felt like, and we're kind of backtracking here, but it felt like with that build, it was almost like they're like, oh, you're not going to get the main event, so we got to give you Taker. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think Punk wants the main event.
He said multiple times that he wants the main event. That's the only.
He deserves it.
Yeah. I'll say right now, I would not have a problem with John Cena CM Punk at WrestleMania 30 being the main event.
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah.
Correctly, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I know people want to say like, oh, I want to see Undertaker versus Cena. I want to see Punk versus Stone Cold. But it's like, yeah, those would be kind of cool matches. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how good Stone Cold is going to be in the ring, and with Undertaker and Cena, there's no way in hell Cena's going to win.
I take Stone Cold CM Punk hands down over anything.
Okay.
Honestly.
I do want to see Taker Cena at 30. I think that would be huge in the right match. But I don't want it to be the last match. I think they should have a title match as the last match involving CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk in the main event versus Stone Cold would be the match I think more people would want to see over Cena Undertaker. I think personally. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's anything else touch on WWE related?
No.
Okay. That comes to mind.
Then let's switch over to TNA with their last episode of Impact, which was just full of Hogan. So let's tell you how good it was. Okay, we started the show off with Bully Ray coming out with aces and eights and basically calling out Hogan, saying he has at the end of the show to confront him. Just wonder when he's going to show up, right? We had a few pointless. Well, what was the first match? I don't remember.
I can't even remember.
I don't either.
Yeah,
so that tells you how good
it was a match better. Oh, I do remember we had
I remember there was
Taryn Terrell versus Tara in a match which was okay.
There were two long knockouts matches on this.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get to the other one. Yeah.
Knockouts matches.
Then we had Robbie Terry taking on Jesse, which boy, there's two guys I love to see wrestle. Yeah, that was something. Then we had first we had James Storm come out and talk about AJ, and Christopher Daniels and Kazarian come out and say they want to reform Fortune to take on Aces and Eights, which I don't think is going to go anywhere. But
well, I think it proved that it's not after. Everything
which they had Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez taking on Aries and Rude for the 20,000th time, and still no one cares about them.
It was a good match though.
Yeah, it was good. Finish was like just a clusterfuck though.
But to TNA's credit, it seems like they're finally setting up for the match that everybody wanted to see.
Not for the title.
Yeah,
for the title, of course. No. But that's Bad Influences versus Aries and Rude. And
finally,
I really hope that they do that.
If they put that on Slammiversary, I'll be sure to watch that match.
Well, the thing is, I'm glad it's probably gonna happen. I'll be glad to see it. But if it was for the title, they'd have a long. I feel like it'd be easier to have a longer feud if it was about the belt.
I think it'd be more fun and more competitive.
And who is Chavo Hernandez going to face that's like a legitimate tag team threat?
Robbie E. Jesse.
But I mean, if if like Bad Influence and Aries and Rude have a match the next pay-per-view, who are the Chavo and Hernandez going to defend against?
Right.
There's nobody. No legitimate tag teams.
Yep. Okay, then we had another knockouts match, I remember, which was Mickey James taking on Velvet Sky, and good God, was this match just a botchy piece of shit. Holy... I did not think these two women were that bad at wrestling.
Well, Velvet was
Velvet's
bad.
never really been that great. She's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Her character over the years has been over.
Yeah.
And she's hot, obviously, but
Yeah, she has
she's just never really been that great of a wrestler, and this really exposed that.
Oh God! I mean, I was like, I had this on mute, and then like I looked up and like watched like the last like little bit like where they kept like she was going after the knee or whatever, and just good Lord, I think they botched like every move they were doing, and the roll up at the end. Oh,
This was the last match on the show.
yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that
Oh, there was a
segment with Hogan.
Yeah.
that went on forever.
Yeah, him and Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan, the most like confused character in TNA history. He's a good guy, then he's a bad guy, then he's in a tag team, then he's feuding the
More
tag.
confused than Mr. Anderson.
Oh, yeah, I give you that one.
Touche.
But, yeah, but just Morgan, like they do so many fucking different things with this guy, and like nothing has stuck with this guy.
What was this segment? Just a way to bury Morgan? That's how it felt.
Yeah,
and then Hogan coming out at it, looking older than dirt.
God.
I'm gonna do it by myself.
Yeah, like that
Get
close,
over
like
yourself,
that
man.
close up. I'm like, good. Like I could see the wrinkles, like
Yeah.
just growing.
Did this just feel to me like it went on forever? Or did it actually go on?
It went
forever?
on.
It went on.
Because this felt like it went on. Just
I was trying to go into the bathroom. I was watching this.
you were
segment.
trying to hold it. Why didn't you just go, man?
Yeah.
I didn't have anything better.
I was trying to wait for it to get to
So
the
I watched
commercial,
it.
and it's like, oh, like, well, fuck this. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom.
You'd rather watch the commercials than watch that, I'm
Really?
sure.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
Then we had the end of the segment, which was Bully Ray calling out Hogan. Hogan came out. Bully Ray insulted him, which was pretty funny, I thought. And then Bully Ray said like how Hogan's not gonna do anything. Turns his back. Hogan, of course, has to take his shirt off. Which, good God,
Yeah, not looking as good as he thinks he does anymore.
he needs to keep that.
he's got
shirt.
that jiggle.
I mean, he looks. I mean, for his age, but
Right.
still, it's like it's at the point where it's like when you get that old, when you're that ridiculously muscular, it starts looking worse than if you're just a normal guy.
Right, and like the way, if you're gonna pull your shirt, people are expecting like, this guy's a beast. I mean, like that'd be like if Flair did it. People would be like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah,
Like that's
pretty
how it
much.
felt. It was just like, this should not be. And then he proceeded to throw these hideous punches. Like you can't throw a punch and not step into it and make me. And I'm supposed to believe that it hurts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're world champion selling these punches.
The world champ, Bully Ray took like what 3 punches and then like ran out of the ring. It's like, oh my God.
Then the
man.
lights go down.
No, first Ace and Nash, they surround
Yeah.
the ring, and it's like, oh, I'm like, okay, good. They're gonna beat the shit out of Hogan.
Well,
Nope.
Yeah,
They have.
Well, we're getting into a completely different segment here. The one with Morgan was an earlier segment.
Yeah, we're on to the
This is another segment.
Yeah,
that went on forever
okay,
with
yeah,
Hogan.
yeah. Morgan was at the was at like 9 o'clock. This is at the end of the show.
This is the main event.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and yeah. So the lights go out. Sting's in the ring with baseball bat to Hogan. Look, oh my God, is he gonna hit Hogan? No, he's gonna fight off Ace and Nate. So 2 guys who are over 50 years old fought off 8 guys who are supposed to be the biggest threat to TNA right now,
With no help.
with no help from the
No.
rest of the roster.
Mm.
Well, why the fuck should we worry about Ace and Nate now? We can just send the senior citizens out there to take care of
Oh
him.
shit, dude.
But they already did this. They've already been beating the crap out of him previously.
I know, but like this was supposed to be like the
The thing
new
that really
Ace.
bothered me about this was that Bully Ray's whole point in all of the promos that he did that night was to say, we've beat everybody, you have nobody left.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I don't need anybody, I've got my old ass and his old ass and we're going to take all of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm supposed to believe this. Like, I understand that TNA fans get butthurt when people talk shit about TNA.
Yeah.
But explain how this is, like, how does this
How is this-
How does this
Well,
make any fucking sense?
To be fair, I haven't heard any positive reactions
No.
about this. Like people who are TNA like hardcore TNA fans, are saying this is
Yeah.
garbage.
This
People who
is-
are hardcore Sting fans are saying this is garbage.
This
Or it's
is the
this.
same shit we've seen over and over and over again. Top heel established, takes out everyone else. Who do they find left? Sting.
Well, that's the thing. It's like WWE's same old shit, but so is TNA. It's like they just do the same
Mainstream-
booking patterns,
Yep.
same. Just get Hogan and Sting over.
I would
again.
say Oh, go ahead.
I should apologize. I don't mean to get down on TNA fans because you can watch and enjoy whatever you like. But that segment.
I'm just saying like TNA is different in that it's not the same thing or something, or that is. People say it's like alternative because they do different things. Like they have their same booking patterns they do all the time.
I'll say right now, like I would much rather have seen, like as much as it would have been stupid, I would have had Matt Morgan be the one that helps out or whatever.
Right.
I would have had Kurt Angle. Because he's actually been feuding with members of Aces and Eights, and him and Bully Ray would be a match I'd be somewhat interested in seeing.
I'd be interested in seeing that. Like Brawler versus Wrestler, I'd be in for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just same old TNA bullshit.
And Sting's probably gonna get a title shot.
Oh, of course.
Probably at the Slammiversary.
Of course, because you already had 2 bad pay-per-views. Might as well make it a trifecta.
So, and he's not gonna win.
Yeah.
Or at least he shouldn't.
They're basically building this up to AJ Styles finally signing with TNA and taking the belt off Bully Ray. We were already predicting it to happen, and it should happen. If it doesn't happen, then
I really hope. That's the thing. Like, it might be predictable, but that's what should happen.
Sometimes predictable is you should go. That's one of my problems with TNA's booking over the years. Is like they can't do anything that is predictable.
Yeah,
it's like they have to have a swerve every time.
They want to shock you.
Yeah.
It's not shocking because we see stupidity coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
we don't want to see that.
With the AJ thing, yes, we know how it's going to end. But I'm curious how we're going to get there. I'm curious what's going to happen.
Plus, AJ and Bully, that's a good match.
They had a great match at Slammiversary like 2 years ago. It was a last man standing match.
This is even now. This is a different dynamic just because AJ has like a darker character, which actually interests me.
Yeah, I like that little submission he used on James Storm the week before. Like I'm very interested to see how they get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
That's what we're, so we're not saying, it's predictable, we know how it's going to end, but let's see what happens when we get there.
The only problem is we know what to expect on the way, which is more Sting, more Hogan.
Yeah.
All I can do is shake my head at that. When I was watching that, I was just like, what year is it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's, honestly, in 2013,
we still have
Hulk Hogan and Sting are in your main time slot.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
I know. Let's get to something more positive, which is the next ROH pay-per-view. There's a few matches announced for Border Wars 2013. The main event will be Jay Briscoe, the ROH World Champion, defending against Adam Cole. Needless to say, I'm excited for this because I'm a big Adam Cole fan. But I expect this match to be pretty good. I'm very interested because I thought that maybe Cole would have a chance of winning when it was Kevin Steen, but now that it's Jay Briscoe and it's his first title defense, I don't know if Jay's going to lose or not.
Right.
That's very, very different.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do because you got Elgin with a title shot coming up. I don't know how that's going to affect things. So,
and there's still rumors floating about Cole might not be on the Indies for very much longer. It's hard to say.
He's been rumored, but he's not one of the top guys right now. That's rumored, but that's another thing.
But still, it's worth throwing out there because it's another thing that you have to take into account.
Right, exactly.
Could he win?
Yeah. The other match is Mark Briscoe taking on Matt Taven for the TV title, which I was kind of interested that they gave Mark Briscoe a television title shot, but
I love this, by the way.
Okay.
I just want to say that.
Okay.
I love this.
I do like that Mark Briscoe's not just being pushed aside with his brother Jay, in the main title picture. I don't see him winning this one either because I think Taven's is going to keep building up, and
I think Mark has a good shot.
I'm not saying he didn't have a good shot, but I just don't see it happening. But
I think I really don't know what to expect. I think Taven. He needs more time to be established, I think. Yeah. I think he'll win. Yeah. I feel bad, though, because Mark, he's a very, when they put him in singles matches, it's mainly used to put guys over.
Yeah.
He's really good at that, and nobody will look at Mark's matches and be like, oh, he's just a jobber, because obviously he's not. No. But either way, I really like this, and these are two guys that I think will have a pretty solid match.
Then we have Michael Elgin and Jay Lethal taking on two members of Scum, which have yet to be announced. I'm predicting probably Jimmy Jacobs and Rhino, probably.
That'd make
perfect sense.
That'd be a cool match.
I'd be more that.
I'd be excited for that.
Then we also have CNC, Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander taking on the team of ACH and Tadarius Thomas, which I'm looking forward to quite a bit. I think it's gonna be fun. That'd be a good opener, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like either way, it's establishing either one of these teams a win for either of these teams is good.
Yeah.
You need to establish another team, kind of, and I see either one of these teams, becoming.
Right. We'll cover more in depth in our preview video.
Okay.
And then we have the two two international guys coming in. Well, one of them actually, which is Ishimori. Taking on Eddie Edwards, which we're still very excited for.
Yes, that should be.
I think we talked about this last time, didn't we?
We have.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Marufuji has gotten injured. It was a tear in his right knee ligament or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's been replaced by a guy from ROH's past, back for the first time in 10 years, Pual London, which I'm very excited for.
So excited.
Apparently, now what I've heard from like his matches at PWG All-Star Weekend 9 was he was really good. He's got a fire underneath his ass again. So I expect it to be good. And he's wrestling Dave Richards, which, hey, Davey will make it work,
Right, but for any long-time ROH fan, this is something I really wanted. Ever since he was released from WWE, people have been like, "Oh, bring back London! Oh, I'd love to see London."
Because if you look back at the old ROH, London was the guy who was going to be the guy.
He was
seriously. And it was only cut short because he went to WWE.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he was. They were building him to be a champion.
Yeah,
he was at the time. He was like the biggest guy.
He was so over.
If you want to see a great example of how good Pual London was, look at his match with Bryan Danielson at Epic Encounter. Great match.
And his match against AJ Styles at Night of the Grudges.
Yes, and
must see those matches.
And his match with Michael Shane.
Michael Shane, was it a fight without honor? No. It was the first one. Match with Loki, match with Xavier was actually
first.
I think it was the first fight without honor. No, it wasn't. That was Joe. Yep, that was right.
But still, this has a lot of historical implications, which I love. Love historical.
Yeah, who doesn't? Hey, I'm a history guy. I love it. Yeah.
History implicator right here. I love it.
Yeah.
But
it might be a bit emotional too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Plus, he's going to be on TV the next night,
taking on Michael Elgin, which I'm super excited about because if there is one guy on the Indies that works great with high flyers, it's Michael Elgin.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I've never seen anyone that works better with high flyers. That is like that big of a guy.
Hopefully, this goes well, and we will see more London.
I hope so.
In ROH.
Yeah, I was telling Justin on my way here. It's basically a win-win for ROH because one, they're going to get a ton of people buying this show just to see Pual London back. Two, they're definitely going to be releasing a Pual London compilation DVD if they smash him with matches.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
I'd love to see him in a shoot interview if they can get him to sit down.
I would love to see. Dude, Pual London's interviews are great.
Yeah.
And then and maybe make a Pual London T-shirt or whatever. But if it doesn't work out, like, okay, well, Paul, he can't come back again because, he messes up or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But either way, ROH is going to make a ton of money, and London gets a chance to relive some of his glory days.
And I wouldn't be surprised if more people tune into this to see London than they would have to see Marufuji.
Maybe more U.S. people, but, less international people, maybe.
Well, I don't think they have a lot of international people buying their shows.
Okay, good point. But, probably a lot more, people oh, hey, I know Pual London, So.
Right.
All right. Switching gears to a little bit of a down news, Mike Quakenbush has announced that he's taking some time off to rest up. Apparently, he's pretty banged up over after his match at WrestleMania weekend. Broken tibia, bruised ribs, bruised wrist. He's really banged. He was going to take time off before, but because he was teaming with his icon, Jushin Thunder Liger, he decided he was going to muscle through. And kudos to Mike for that. So wish Mike the best recovery. Hopefully he takes his time to maybe book Chikara a little bit better. We love you, Mike, but
I gotta say, this is kind of a bummer. I was really into the Jigsaw Quakenbush feud.
Here's the thing I'm thinking though is now that Mike's out of the way, Jigsaw can run crazy now and maybe win the grand championship, and then Mike Quakenbush makes the big return.
It's possible.
So there you go. So maybe this could work to their advantage.
It really depends on what the time frame they think he can return is.
I'm really hoping that they don't turn it into a stalling phase until he's healthy.
I don't think
we got to draw these storylines out just until he gets back.
Yeah, but it would. But I think that for maybe I think they said maybe 5 months or so. Maybe I don't know. It might be a big step. But he'll be back by this year. No question. Okay, and then the last thing we want to talk about, which Noah himself had generously wanted to talk about, is Mr. Bret Hart, who's gone a little bit crazy in his interviews.
He had a sit-down interview recently where I believe that I forgot to write down the question, but the interviewer said, was asking him about Triple H, and he mentioned how Triple H was a great wrestler, how he accomplished a lot in his career, and he even brought up how he was on the business aspect now.
Yeah.
And he said, would you consider Triple H a success story in wrestling? And Bret Hart must have thought that this was time to tear him a new one, and he proceeded to do so. And it was funny to me because the interviewer, you could tell, was a Triple H fan, like he was. And so, the first thing that I wrote down, should I just go ahead and read off?
Just go right ahead.
Yeah.
Here's some of the highlights.
You please quote,
Yeah. These are all quotes from Bret. When asked about Triple H, he said, "What has he ever really done?"
Yeah.
And then he follows that up with, one move that he's done that nobody's ever seen before. I would consider him pretty good wrestler, pretty talented, but great? I don't know. I don't think so. He's never had a great match, I don't think, ever. One more. I think Paul is probably overrated.
After all that, after he just rips him so much, he's probably overrated.
Okay, let me first say right now, I'm not the biggest Triple H fan by any means. I do respect him for what he's done in the business. He's been a pretty big star. I think he earned a lot of people's respect for like the whole Madison Square Garden incident back in like '94, I think it was, or whatever, '95.
Yeah.
But
the curtain call.
Yeah, the curtain call.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So he took the punishment like a champ, and I think that he's done a pretty good job of like establishing himself as like a top heel or a top babyface or whatever. And he's had some great matches. His matches with Mick Foley were great. His matches with The Rock, Stone Cold, Jericho, Shawn Michaels, the unsanctioned match from SummerSlam.
I don't think we should pick apart everything Bret said just because when he first started out, I kind of agreed with him. Like a little here and there. Like Triple H, he's overrated. I'll be honest. He's overrated.
He is overrated.
What has he really done that was super special? You can't really name something that just really stood out. I can anyway.
Okay.
But the fact that he went on for another 6-7 minutes, and he was asked one question. He went on for like 8 minutes about this.
Did he give him 4 out of 10 on his wrestling skills?
It just felt like Bret was bitter. It just felt like another bitter interview.
That's all he does now. Is he just takes interviews.
It's kind of funny. Like he's patched up his whole thing with Shawn. But now he's gonna.
Now he just hates everything.
Yeah, I guess he just hates everyone.
But the thing is,
I thought
Triple H
funny.
definitely had a great match. Let's not.
Yeah. He's had several.
Yes, let's not be ridiculous.
My issues with Triple H don't have a lot to do with his wrestling ability. I've never seen Triple H cut a good promo that I enjoyed. Being honest, I can't remember any promos of his I thought were good.
Stood out.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much the same.
They're all the same promo.
He's kind of like, I would kind of put him on like the pedestal of like Randy Orton, like where he can get the job done and maybe once in a while have a good one, but nothing special.
Wow, that's mean.
Yeah.
That's worse than what Bret said.
Sorry. Sorry, Hunter.
I just thought that was worth talking about because is Bret still running his mouth, still trying to find some relevancy?
Bret Hart can't bury people in the rings. He's got to do it on the mic.
So
and let me be profound with you. Bret Hart overrated.
Yeah, 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. What has he really done?
He's not my top 1,000.
All right. Well, on that note,
we had a little fun.
I don't think we're gonna be able to top that. So, from all of us here at Strong Studios, thank you for joining us and take care. Bye.